Wow, this weekend at the box office, huh?
Really something.
All the buzz about Glicked. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I've seen it around.
The simultaneous release of Wicked and Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
And the numbers have everyone talking.
Everyone's talking about it for sure.
For those of you out there interested in the entertainment industry,
Mm-hmm.
you know this could be a big deal,
Right.
especially for movie theaters.
Uh-huh.
Could Glicked really signal a comeback for the big screen
Yeah.
experience?
Potentially, yeah.
Let's dive in and see.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So this comes after a pretty rough patch for theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to this past weekend, the domestic box office,
Mm-hmm.
meaning ticket sales here in the U.S. and Canada,
Right.
was down over 10% compared to last year at this time.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So this was a much-needed win then.
Absolutely.
What were some of the challenges theaters have been facing? I
we
know
do-
streaming services have really changed how
Yeah.
people watch movies.
Yeah. Streaming has definitely been a major factor,
Oh.
giving people more options to watch from home.
Right.
Then you have the lingering effects of the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
which kept people out of theaters for a long time.
Yeah.
And earlier this year, the Hollywood strikes
Oh, right.
created even more uncertainty about upcoming releases.
Yeah.
All of this really put pressure on theaters
Okay.
to deliver something truly spectacular.
And then along comes Glicked,
Yeah.
like a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
Michael O'Leary, who heads the National Association of Theater Owners,
Mhm.
he even called it a tremendous catalyst for the industry going forward.
That's it. Right.
High praise indeed.
It is.
So let's talk specifics.
Okay.
First up, Wicked.
Right?
A global opening weekend of $164.2 million.
Wow.
That's not just impressive.
No.
It's the biggest opening ever for a movie.
Biggest opening ever.
Adapted from a Broadway musical,
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
Exactly.
Right.
And to think this is only part one
Oh, that's right.
of the Wicked adaptation.
Yeah.
But beyond the numbers,
Okay.
I think it's worth examining the marketing strategy here.
Okay.
Remember how Barbie seemed to be absolutely everywhere earlier this year?
It was.
That incredibly successful saturation campaign?
Yeah.
Well, Wicked seems to have taken a page from that playbook.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
It was inescapable.
it really was.
Starbucks drinks,
Yep.
Wicked fashion lines at Target,
That's right.
even Wicked cupcake mixes from Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
Clearly that strategy worked.
Worked well.
It definitely got my attention.
As a marketer, I admire it.
Right.
Jim Orr, who oversees domestic theatrical distribution for Universal Pictures,
Uh-huh.
actually attributed the film's success
Okay.
to that very marketing blitz.
Right.
Combined with the talent and hard work of the cast.
Speaking of the cast,
Yeah.
you can't deny the star power of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
I know, right?
That alone was a huge draw for fans.
It was
Especially considering this is just the first part of a two-part film adaptation.
right,
They've definitely left audiences wanting more.
for sure.
Okay, now let's talk about the other half of Glicked.
Okay.
Gladiator 2.
Right.
A global total of $221 million.
Huge.
And remember, that includes its international release from the previous week.
Right.
Right.
For those who might not know,
Yeah.
an international release means the film premiered in theaters overseas
Uh-huh.
before coming to North America.
Right.
That staggered release helped build up even more anticipation for the sequel here.
I see. And let's not forget the legacy of the original Gladiator,
Right.
which won Best Picture 20 years ago.
20 years ago, can you believe that?
I know.
Wow.
So they had a lot to live up to.
Yeah, they did.
The casting for this one was spot on, too.
Absolutely.
Paul Mescal, who's been having a huge moment lately.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal,
Yeah,
a fan favorite from countless roles.
I know.
And, of course, the legendary Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
What a powerhouse trio.
They really are a powerhouse.
But even with these huge successes,
Yeah.
Glicked still didn't reach the record-breaking opening weekend of Barbenheimer from back in July.
Barbenheimer was pretty exceptional.
Yeah.
That was a cultural moment for sure.
Does that diminish its impact at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What's fascinating is that Glicked actually surpassed
Okay.
the opening weekend numbers for Deadpool and Wolverine,
Okay.
which came out just this past July.
Oh, wow. So this summer has been big for movies then.
Huge summer for movies.
Okay.
That suggests something bigger is at play here.
So you're saying it's not just a fluke?
I think it's more than a fluke
Okay.
or a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Glicked, along with Barbenheimer,
Right.
could indicate that something is shifting in audience behavior.
Okay. So maybe people really are craving
Uh-huh.
that big screen experience again.
I think it's a possibility worth considering.
Okay.
And what better time for this potential shift to happen
Yeah.
than right before the holiday season?
That's true.
I mean, think about it.
Huh.
Moana 2 is coming out on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
There's a lot of buzz that it could break Thanksgiving box office records.
Remind me what the current record is.
Okay.
For the entire holiday season?
Yeah.
From Thanksgiving through New Year's?
A whopping $2.5 billion.
Wow.
That record was set back in 2017
Oh, wow.
when The Last Jedi dominated the box office.
Okay.
So the question is, can this year top that?
With Moana 2 kicking things off,
Yeah.
plus Mufasa, The Lion King,
Huh.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and even Timothée Chalamet taking on the role of Bob Dylan.
Wow, what a lineup.
It seems like anything is possible.
It's definitely looking like a strong contender,
Yeah.
especially with Glicked paving the way
Uh-huh.
and potentially signaling a return to the big screen.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Really is a fascinating shift,
Right.
isn't it? If it's happening, that is, what do you think is driving this potential return to theaters?
Well, in the case of Wicked,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with that built-in fan base.
Right.
You've got Wizard of Oz fans, Broadway enthusiasts who've seen the musical a million times.
Right.
I mean, they were practically guaranteed to buy tickets.
For sure. And you can't underestimate the power of nostalgia, can you?
Yeah.
It's everywhere these days. TV reboots, retro video games, even fashion trends. It seems like people really crave that comfort
Yeah.
and familiarity, especially during times of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And Wicked,
Well, it's just a feel-good story, right?
totally.
Yeah.
It's about friendship, self-acceptance,
Yeah.
and defying expectations. And with those incredible costumes, the elaborate sets, those iconic songs, it's an experience that just can't be replicated at home on your couch.
No, you really have to see it on the big screen.
Right.
And speaking of spectacle,
Yeah,
Gladiator Sect delivered on that front as well.
it did.
Those epic battle scenes,
Yeah.
the sprawling landscapes.
Yeah.
You need that massive screen to truly appreciate the scope of it all.
It's like being transported to another time and place.
Yeah.
And I think there's something special about sharing those moments with a whole audience. You know that collective gasp when something shocking happens on screen?
Oh, yeah.
You just don't get the same energy watching at home, no matter how big your TV is.
No, you don't. It's interesting, though, isn't it?
What's that?
Both of these films are adaptations.
Oh, yeah.
Wicked, from the stage.
Right.
Gladiator 2. A sequel to a beloved classic. Does this tell us anything about the state of Hollywood?
That's a good question.
Are we seeing a lack of original ideas?
I mean,
Or are studios just giving audiences what they want?
on the one hand, there's something exciting about seeing a beloved story
Yeah.
brought to life on the big screen.
Yeah.
It generates instant excitement,
Yeah.
especially if there's already a passionate fan base.
Right.
But on the other hand, I can see how it might make some people worry.
About the lack of fresh original content coming out of Hollywood.
Are studios playing it safe
Yeah.
by relying on familiar franchises?
Yeah.
It's a valid concern.
It definitely makes you think.
It does.
But let's not forget,
Right?
there are still plenty of original films being made.
There are.
They often get overshadowed by these big budget behemoths, though, don't they?
That's often the case.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these smaller independent films really struggle to compete for attention
Yeah.
and screen time. When the big studios are dominating the market
Right.
with their tentpole releases.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
You just used a term our listeners might not be familiar with.
Oh, right.
Tentpole release.
Yeah, good catch.
Can you explain what that means?
Of course. A tentpole release is essentially a film
Okay.
that's expected to be a huge commercial success.
Right.
It's usually a big budget production with a wide release,
Uh-huh.
and it's intended to prop up the studio's financial performance
Okay.
for the entire year.
So these are the blockbusters, the must-see movies that everyone's talking about.
Exactly. And because they're so commercially important,
Mm-hmm.
studios often invest heavily in marketing and promotion,
Right.
which makes it even harder for smaller films to break through the noise.
It's like a cycle.
Right? Yeah.
Studios are hesitant to invest in original, possibly riskier projects because they perceive them as less likely to become tentpole releases.
Right.
But then those original voices and stories don't get the chance to find their audience
Right.
and potentially become the next big thing.
Precisely. It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Yeah.
We need a balance.
Okay.
We need the spectacle of big-budget films and the innovation of smaller, more intimate stories.
Right.
Both are important for a healthy film industry.
Well said. Maybe the success of Glicked will encourage studios to take more chances on those original projects that might have been sitting on the back burner.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It would be a sign that studios are recognizing the need
Okay.
for a wider range of stories and perspectives.
And speaking of diverse stories,
Yeah.
I think it's worth noting that both Wicked and Gladiator 2 feature diverse casts.
They do.
We need to see more of that in Hollywood, don't we?
Absolutely. Representation matters.
Yeah.
It's not just about checking boxes.
Right.
It's about telling authentic stories that resonate with a wider audience.
Yeah.
It's about seeing yourself reflected on screen.
So true. It makes you feel seen and heard. It creates connection and a sense of belonging.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation for everyone involved.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the financial side of things.
Right.
Remember how we mentioned the domestic box office has been lagging behind pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah.
Do you think the success of Glicked is a sign that things are finally turning around?
Well, it's certainly a promising sign.
Okay.
Remember, we're talking about a combined global total of over $385 million
Wow.
between these two films.
That's a lot.
That's a huge influx of revenue for the industry.
That has to give studios and theater owners a much-needed boost of confidence.
It does. You're absolutely right.
And it also reminds them of what's possible when they release films that resonate with audiences.
For sure. But it's not just about ticket sales, is it?
You're absolutely right.
A successful film generates revenue from all sorts of avenues.
Okay.
Merchandise streaming rights, the potential for sequels and spin-offs.
Right.
A box office hit can have a huge ripple effect.
It's like a rising tide lifting all boats, as they say. Exactly. But this success is happening at a time when the industry is still dealing with the aftermath of the Hollywood strikes.
It is.
It can't be easy.
That's right. The strikes really disrupted production schedules.
Right.
Causing a lot of delays and uncertainty.
Yeah.
But Glicked proves that audiences are still hungry for quality entertainment.
Okay.
And they're willing to pay for it.
I guess that sends a message to both studios and the unions, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a reminder that working together and finding common ground is essential for the whole industry to thrive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The strikes might be over.
Right.
But the issues that led to them are still there.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to work together to find solutions that benefit the entire industry.
Right.
From writers and actors to crew members and support staff.
Because ultimately, it's those people who make the magic happen, right?
That's right.
Without their talent and dedication, we wouldn't have these incredible films to enjoy.
Absolutely.
But let's circle back to Glicked for a moment. We've talked about the numbers, the marketing, the cultural impact.
Yeah.
What are the critics saying about these films?
Overall, the reviews have been positive.
Okay.
Critics are praising the performances, the visuals, the entertainment value. Of course, there are always a few dissenting voices.
Yeah.
But you can't please everyone can.
You can't win them all. But it sounds like Glicked has really struck a chord with people around the world.
It seems that way.
It's a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, the allure of spectacle, and maybe, just maybe, the resurgence of the shared cinematic experience.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe this is just the beginning of a new golden age for Hollywood.
Now that would be something.
It would be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we need to be realistic, too.
Okay.
The film industry still faces plenty of challenges.
Right.
From the evolving landscape of streaming services to the ongoing need to address issues of diversity and inclusion.
Those are valid points.
Yeah.
But for now, let's enjoy this moment.
Okay.
The success of Glicked at least gives us reason to be optimistic.
It does.
It's a sign that the magic of movies is alive and well.
And as long as people crave stories, seek escape, and yearn for a sense of connection, I think the future of cinema remains bright.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now with the holiday season fast approaching and a whole lineup of potential blockbusters on the horizon, it begs the question, will this Glicked momentum carry through to the holidays?
I think it could.
Will we see audiences flocking back to theaters in record numbers?
It's possible Glicked could be a strong indicator of a larger trend.
Okay.
It seems like people are rediscovering that shared experience, you know, that escape from the everyday that you just don't get at home.
And this holiday season has something for everyone.
Yeah, it does.
Sequels, adaptations, animation, historical dramas. I'm personally really excited about Moana 2.
Oh, yeah.
That first film was visually stunning, and the music was incredible.
It was.
What are you looking forward to?
Mufasa. The Lion King is generating a lot of buzz.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
It'll be interesting to see how they incorporate the iconic music from the original film into a prequel.
And for those who prefer a faster pace,
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 should deliver some high-octane thrills. Then there's Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's a role that demands serious acting talent.
It does.
It could be an awards contender for sure.
Absolutely.
This holiday season is shaping up to be a real feast for movie lovers.
It is.
But, box office success isn't just about the films themselves.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's about the whole experience.
The whole experience.
Yeah.
Theaters need to adapt to what modern audiences want.
Okay.
Comfortable seating, amazing sound systems, diverse food and drink options. Those things can make a big difference.
It's all about creating an environment where people feel welcome, where they can truly escape and lose themselves in the story.
And that's what's so exciting about this moment.
What is it?
We're seeing a convergence of factors.
Okay.
Audiences rediscovering the joy of the big screen, studios investing in big-budget spectacles, and a growing demand for high-quality entertainment.
Right.
Feels like a turning point.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into
and what it might mean for the future of movie theaters. I want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
Do you think this box office momentum will continue? Or is Glicked just a blip on the radar?
Good question.
Is this a genuine resurgence of the big screen experience?
It could be.
What upcoming movies are you excited to see in theaters?
Well, like I said, I'm really excited for Mufasa.
Okay.
I think that one's going to be really good.
Let us know.
Yeah, tell us what you're excited about.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, happy viewing.
Happy viewing to you, too.